Hey, how's it going? It's Kyle from the Books and Boards YouTube channel. And for this video, I'm just going to kind of go over last week's numbers and then maybe touch on a few things that I wanted to talk about. Last week, we sold 98 items, 98 units, and we listed 84 units. Again, the way I tally a unit is if it's a complete game or as-is game, that's 1 unit. If it's 8 game pieces, that's another unit. So when you average, when you look at the total for all that, we listed 84, we sold 98. Obviously, as I've talked about in previous weekly videos, not where we want to be. We're trying to get that up. We're trying to make up for losing Amazon, but it is what it is. Sales number for those 98 solds was 3,210, which is a little above where we've been at, but probably about 1,500 to 2,000 less than what we were at this time last year. So still got some ground to make up there. Some of our big sales from last week. We didn't really have too many huge sales. We just had a lot of our usual stuff, $25-$30 range. That was the bulk of what we sold. But we did have one. It was called the Christmas Game from 1980. We sold that for $50 plus shipping. We actually got a lot less this time around. We sold it before. The last time we sold it, we got, I think, closer to $100 for it. The market for that has kind of dropped, and I just went with what the market was, and it ended up being, I took an offer for $55. The next one is the Masterpiece Art Auction Game. I've talked about this one before. Anytime I see this game in stores, I pick it up. There's a couple different editions. There's one couple from the 70s. There's another one from the 90s, I think. But if I see any of them, I pick them up. They always sell well. We have pieces so that if something's incomplete, we can usually complete it. And that one sold for $50 plus shipping. Like I've said in other videos, this game in particular on Amazon would sell for $70, $80, $90 sometimes. But now that Amazon's not an option for used games, it's all on eBay. And $55 is kind of what we've been getting on eBay for this game. And this one was in really good condition too. The next ones were around the $40 range, and it was the first one is a takeoff game. It comes in a larger box, and it's got a map, an actual world map that's rolled up. It's a geography game. It's kind of cool. We've sold different. There's a bigger box version of it and a smaller box version. We've sold both of them. This one we sold for $40 plus shipping. It's another one that we used to sell on Amazon all the time for much more than that. So we're it's one of those that we're adjusting to eBay's prices on. But we got $40 plus shipping for that. And then we sold 2 cash flow games. I see cash flow games on a pretty regular basis. It's the board game from the Rich Dad Poor Dad series, the book series. They're pretty popular, even the older ones. You'd think that because it's financial advice, like the ones that are like 20 years old wouldn't be worthwhile, but apparently people still buy them, especially when the newer ones probably go for $100 or more. But we sold 2 of them last week for $40 plus shipping. So that rounds out the highlights from last week. A couple other things that I wanted to mention. So we have our main store, Books and Boards, and then we have our smaller store, which we just kind of brought back to life. It's actually our longest standing store that we have. It's the North Star Traders eBay store. But we kind of brought it back to life. We're selling seasonal stuff on there. But the reason I'm bringing it up is that we actually got an email from eBay saying that they are now going to be holding payments until delivery of the items. And that store has been around since 2015, so at least 10 years now. So it was a little surprising. We have over 500 reviews on that store, but I'm guessing it's because we kind of went about a year and a half without putting anything on that store. So that's possible why we got the kind of the new delayed payout setup. But I'm not too worried about it. If you're doing this with any consistency, having your payout be a little delayed shouldn't be an issue. In fact, I started on Amazon. That's where I started reselling, and I joined shortly after they stopped doing the daily payouts. So from the moment I started reselling, it was a 2-week stretch before I saw anything come in. And so that's what that's what I was used to. Is it always took 2 weeks to get your money, 2 weeks to get your money. So when I started doing eBay and I could get it in 1 week, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. It's every week we can get money in. And now, of course, things have changed with eBay. You can do daily payouts. You can do all sorts of things. So this isn't really a huge deal for me. And in fact, Amazon actually came out with the same thing. They're now doing a delayed payout as well. Once the delivery scan happens, then you get your money. Again, I'm not too. If they roll it out to all the stores, I'm not too worried about it. There might be a little hitch right when the change happens, but ultimately, it's just a shift of when you get your money, and I'm not too worried about it. The other thing I wanted to mention is that yesterday I talked about moving slower to go faster, and I realized today that I kind of need to apply that to our business as well, not just preach that. So I've decided that I'm going to reduce my daily goal a little bit to make it more attainable, to kind of get that, like I talked about in yesterday's video, get the foundation for our listing goal and for what we're trying to do. With the October 30th date coming very close, when Amazon will be done for us, it's kind of important for us to retrench a little bit and build that foundation so that we can move forward and be as successful as we can. Because right now I still feel like I'm floundering. I still feel like we take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, or in some days we take 5 steps forward and then we take 2 steps back. And so I'm just looking for a little consistency. And so I'm trying to take my own advice and slow down a little bit and make sure that I am building the foundation for the next stage of the business. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. The other thing, one real quick thing is this is day 64 of my 100-day video challenge. I haven't mentioned this in a while, but I've been trying to do 100 days of videos to kind of kick off this YouTube channel so that I can kind of learn and see what this entails. And yeah, so this is day 64. So I'm inching my way towards 100, and I'm already learning a lot. I've learned that I'm not too thrilled about editing videos, which is why a lot of these are pretty minimally edited. But I do know that if I want to kind of venture into more edited videos, I know how to do it. I know what it entails. I know how I need to go about setting those things up. So I've definitely learned a lot, even in these 64 days of making videos. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, check us out on Facebook, Books and Boards, and I will see you tomorrow.